up, everyone? Welcome to Book Club.
Sounds like we have an echo.
I know, that's why I slowed myself down. I was like, whoa.
Like, wow, man. What was in those peanut butter cups, man? That was the memorable peanut butter cups.
They laced it with the good stuff. Oh, gosh. Which is not the good stuff because we don't do that here.
No, not at all. I don't. I'm a very good boy.
Nah, you're still trouble. I'd just like to see your reaction, Tracy. Oh, goodness. All right. Welcome to Book Club. As I was previously stating, I got my partners in crime over here, the prize turkey. Which I just noticed. All the names you went with the prize turkey. Oh,
yo, boy,
man.
boy there. Do they still have the prize turkey in the corner? You mean the one as big as me? Yes. Well, sure. Well, go down there and buy it for me and bring it here.
Are you trying the accents again, Tracy?
No, because that was a horrible accent. It was just me being me. And I want to offend anybody out there because
It's that New York British.
that's that New York British.
Oh gosh, we should do just a whole stream on like what our accents would sound like with our current accents. Russ has a southern twang. Tracy's got the New York, me with the Boston.
I'm not even that New York accent. It's
Oh, you don't think you are, my friend, but you are. It's
you. Same with Tina. Yours comes out when you're excited. So,
legit.
But what is it? The hard R? Is that what it is? I don't know.
It's got to be coffee.
Coffee. What do you say? Coffee?
Coffee.
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 Quaffey.
Yeah.
It's always coffee.
Which I think is hilarious because Jason does the same thing because he's got like the Rhode Island because he was from next to Rhode Island and they got the accent is so thick, so he's coffee and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's like
hanging out with
Carlos.
Yeah, yeah. Just it's interesting because down that area you got like a little bit of Boston, a little bit of New York, and it's the Rhode Island thing. But yeah. All right, let's get to chat. I'm slacking over here, guys. I apologize.
Well, it can't be because I'm distracting you. There's no way.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Never. Not you.
Sure, we got a short chapter, so we got plenty of time.
Tons of time. All right, so we got Tracy. Who is it?
What?
Who's first
top of the chat?
Oh, top of the chat. I'll read it. Okay, we have Francisco.
That's what I was looking
I like
for.
saying that, Francisco.
That's fun, Francisco. All right, we got Annie. Magnificent Germany with Darian. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Darian.
Elena K808. Aloha, Miss Elena.
Aloha.
Mike Wheeler, welcome in. And who else? Dad Builds, Chris. I'm sorry, I totally got distracted by something.
Hold on, wait a second. Dad Builds is here already? Man, this is going to be bad.
Yep. On break from work, so can't stay long. But missed my friends. We missed you too, Dad Builds. Good to see you. We need to be on our best behavior, boys. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Soundbite man is here.
I'm not worried.
No, Russ is the good, squeaky clean guy, and me and Tracy are just completely questionable. So.
Oh no, I'm totally questionable. There's no doubt that I'm totally questionable.
Oh, this is true, and my phone is ringing. And
Hello?
yes, that is a house phone.
Yep.
Who's got landlines anymore?
Me. It's
Kristen.
It's business. It's not a business line, but because of my business, we keep the line. Yeah. All right, so let's get started. Last chapter, What do we think?
It's a good
Awesome.
chapter. I mean, it's a short one.
It is a short one.
It is a very short one, and it ties everything together. I mean,
it's the happy ending.
Yeah, I mean, at last, what did we find? We left off where Ebenezer Scrooge is grabbing a hold of the cloak of the ghost of Christmas of yet to come or Christmas future, and he pulls it down, and it's his bed curtains. So he sees now that he is, in his own room.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the shadows that he was, when those ghosts tell him that they're shadows, they actually never took him out of his bedroom. They showed him shadows. He was never actually left that the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's giddy. He's giddy as giddy as a schoolboy, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what he says there.
What's three of them? It's like giddy as a schoolboy,
light as a feather,
and like drunk as a drunken.
Yeah,
person.
drunk as a
something like that. Yeah.
So I mean, now he's got this whole thing. Again, he's waking up. He thinks it's 3 days. He's been gone for 3 days. I mean, into his mind, he now opens the shutters and he sees that it's he's thinking it's December 28th. He's missed Christmas, and then
well, he's worried that it's too late. Yeah,
and that's why he asked the kid outside. What day is it, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. And then when he's told, "Hey, it's Christmas Day," he was like, "Oh my goodness, they did it all in one night."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And now, and I guess you go back to it and you read this chapter. Now, the thing is there's so many different Christmas carols out there, as far as movies wise, and just going by the movie, this chapter has taken it true to life, or they've condensed everything into this. Yeah, Dad, Chris builds it, and we did the same thing. Dad says confession here. He's seen tons of the versions of the movies and TV, but never read the story. And that's why I like what we did here. I mean, I'm not going to monopolize this. I'm going to spread it out. So what did you think of the difference between what you read and what you've seen in the past?
Oh, gosh.
Well, I mean, most of them, they usually always have him go to the window. He sees the boy and asks about the turkey, the prize turkey, and wants to send it to Bob. There are different versions where he wants to send it to Bob as a present. There's other versions where he sends it as kind of a joke, and that's kind of in the book where it seems to me like he's sending it as a joke. Like, he'll never guess who it's coming from.
Right. I mean,
and it's that kind of a thing. And
he wants to send it as a present, but also wants to remain unknown on who sent this turkey to him.
Right, and so to where like where in the world is this coming from? Why am I getting it? That kind of a thing. Nowadays you might get something and it's like, okay, well, what's the catch? That kind of a thing, and that might have been what he was hoping he would think, because then later on, he comes back to the office.
Right. Which we get, he tells the boy to go down and fetch the turkey. Mm-hmm. He actually doesn't tell him to bring the turkey to him. He says, bring the butcher to him. Mm-hmm. And he tells,
so that I can send it out.
And he tells where the butcher to send it to.
Yeah.
And he offers him money if he can make it back quicker. He really just goes overboard with that that thing. And then he goes out on the town. He goes out on the town and enjoys Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Which you see that in the movies, but not 100%. And then,
well, I like the description that he gives too of him getting ready. Like, he's shaking so bad that he's cutting himself shaving, but he doesn't care because he's so happy. And he's putting his best on, and he's getting ready to go out, and he's excited, and he's I like that description. I think that's kind of neat. So
the one thing that has always driven me crazy, because in some adaptations, like, okay, and I'll get into this later, but the Christmas Carol version with Jim Carrey, the Disney one, the cartoon, he goes out in his pajamas. and then in some other versions he also goes out in his pajamas, and it drives me up a wall. And so I couldn't wait to get to that.
Like he's just so excited to get out there that
right. So I couldn't wait for that part of the book to see in the book, does he actually get dressed? And it actually says in the book he could barely even shave because his hand was shaking so much because he was that excited. And I love that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the way you look at it is if you were adapting this to a screenplay or a movie, do you really want to see a guy with a shaver in his hand and cutting?
Well, right. I mean, it's obviously,
at least make him dress before he goes out of the house and make me happy.
What? You can't go out in your pajamas?
Absolutely not.
Haven't you been to Walmart, honey?
No, not in my pajamas.
I go home and
you're lucky people who put their pajamas on when they go to Walmart.
Walmart's got the curbside delivery. I don't even have to get dressed to go to Walmart.
That's true. That is true. Touche. Yep.
You're coming up to the car door. I'm in my boxers. The guy's like, "Did you get dressed?" I'm like, "I'm at Walmart, man."
Of course, another thing about it too, some of those versions where he goes out in his pajamas, he doesn't go to Fred's in those versions.
No.
Right.
He just goes straight out or goes to Bob's house. And so I think, in the book he goes to Fred's, which is a big, big part of the story, in my opinion. I mean, because he's reconnecting with his family.
Right.
And he spends Christmas Day with Fred and his wife and his niece. So now in the book we still get the collectors, the charitable collectors, and he gives them a lot more than and tells them, just like we've seen in the movies, that it's for some back pay that he had never thought about it. Now he's making up for what he should have done, which is great. And then he goes to Fred's and he enjoys the time and he sees what the shadows of what he's seen in the Ghost of Christmas Present. Now he gets it and he sees what's going on and he gets to partake. He really gets to partake, and he gets to see the chubby girl and the friend flirt and he's in on the joke because he sees it. What's your favorite part?
The chubby girl and the guy.
And Topper,
interaction, interesting. The whole book, and I don't know why. I love this. Mike Wheeler says, so Ebenezer Scrooge is the anonymous hopper. He's the one that sends money as present but doesn't want anybody to know. Mike. Exactly. Now we know. But
And
well, and I was just gonna say the next part in the book, because and this again is not necessarily portrayed in a lot of the movies, to where he goes back to the office and waits for Bob the next day.
Correct. He goes back and he waits for him to come in late. Well,
he gets there early enough to where he can catch him, and not thinking that he's going to be late, but he is, and then that makes it even better.
Danny, yes, I did say the chubby girl. I think they described her.
Well, that's how they describe her in the book. I mean,
they don't describe her technically as chubby. They call her something different. But it's not as. I can't even remember because I don't have it in front of me
It's the same lines, though. It's the same.
Yeah. It's in the same. Well, you also got to remember, being thin. Being a little thick back in this age or a Victorian era, if you had enough to eat to be thick, it was a sign of wealth to effect. I mean, they weren't morbidly obese, but they were well fed. Let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of how they describe her, is that she's, a little bit overweight, that she's rosy, and she's
right.
Yep.
But no, I love this scene where he's back at the office. Bob comes in, he's like 18 minutes late, I think they said. And he's trying to sneak in and act like nothing's going on, like, because Scrooge has got his head down writing or whatever, and he catches him and basically tells him to come into the office like he's going to fire him. But then and starts yelling at him. But then, and I'm going to give you a raise, and it takes it. And in fact, actually, in the book, it describes that he's kind of he's in his face and kind of pushes him back. And Bob reaches for a ruler because he's going to try it. He's going to hit him back. And
yeah, I mean, we do get these in the versions. We even get more or less, we get these versions. I mean, Disney does this with Uncle Scrooge. Does this in the Mickey's version? He comes there and he gives him his laundry, and we even see it in A Muppet Christmas Carol where he knocks on the door.
Yeah,
we've seen this in other versions, which we knew it's coming. I just with the book, it's actually the 26th, and it's not Christmas Day that he takes care of Bob. Bob has been well fed on Christmas Day. He's been merry. I mean, he had a turkey. He had good food.
Yeah, well, and that's his excuse for being late, was that I made too much merry yesterday, and I'm late. So yeah.
So I would love. I mean, Dickens didn't include what happens at the Cratchit house when it comes the turkey comes. Could you imagine being that person that all you've had was a goose that you were splitting between what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Was there 6 to 7 kids?
I think, yeah.
I think there were 6 kids, or there were 6 people, and you have a goose, and a goose obviously is smaller than a turkey. But now they have this big prize turkey that's probably going to feed all 7 of them, and a couple days later they're going to have turkey sandwiches and turkey soup and turkey whatever. I'm trying to think of all the things that it says at the end of a Christmas story. Turkey sandwiches, no turkey soup, no turkey hash, no turkey, because the dogs ate all the turkey.
That's right.
But yeah, he's definitely had a plus. And then he gets the surprise that not only he's expecting to get fired probably.
Yeah.
And listen, Bob's probably at this point was like, if I'm getting fired, I'm getting fired for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's an awesome end to this chapter.
Well, it's an awesome end of the book. I mean, I think the whole story, that's why it's a classic. I mean, it's one of those stories that, it hits home at the same time, because anybody could have reasons why they hate Christmas, or, things that have happened that, they just don't like it, and there's lots of people like that, and remembering those things about your life when you were happy about Christmas, it's a good lesson. So I like it a lot. And I think that's why it is such a classic. So, and
it is Charles Dickens. I mean, it's a classic writer, and I don't know. I mean, I really didn't do any of the background research. I mean, was there anything like this before Dickens did it, or did this come straight out of Dickens' mind? The Ghost of Christmas Present, Ghost of Christmas Past, the redemption story. I mean, ultimately, that's what it is. It's a redemption story broken out into 4 different ghosts. Yeah. Because none of the other 3 ghosts would make any sense to Ebenezer Scrooge if he didn't have that first ghost of Marley. All of these are dependent on each other.
Yeah.
You take one of these pieces out. Maybe the Ghost of Christmas Future you could kind of take out of the book or even out of the movie, because he's kind of already learned his lesson at the end of the Ghost of Christmas Present. But, that final nail, that giving that whole big, this is what happens if you don't change your ways. Because just like anybody else, you can make a change for a month or 2 and then go back to your Ebenezer Scrooge ways. And, and thinking about just that phrase, how many people have you heard who say bah humbug, or you call him a Scrooge? It's actually a bad idea, because Ebenezer Scrooge is the hero of this story.
Yeah.
He's changed his life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you refer to them as that, because it's a bad thing. And, I think one of the like you were asking, this was written back in the time when like the Penny Dreadful things and the ghost stories were very popular. It's a short story, and so I think, it was. I'm pretty sure that it was an original idea, and that it, something that, and I really do. I feel like it was very popular at the time when it first came out too. But it again, because it's such a great story, it's continued on and on and on, and has become
timeless.
Classic.
It's timeless.
Yeah, it's timeless. So
welcome in, John.
And we've had so many different other variations and tellings
Garrett
because of it as well. So
Garrett,
another trouble.
Garrett is not trouble. He is a nice guy. Nice guy. Garrett is.
Oh yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
No, wait a minute. You're kidding that he's wonderful, or you're kidding that he's a nice guy, or you're kidding that he's trouble?
None of the above. I'm not kidding at all. I don't know. I lost track.
That's okay. We're all. I like messing with you.
We're all down here.
No, I like the kind of the last part of the last paragraph. It talks about how he became a good man. And he knew how to keep Christmas well.
Mm-hmm.
So from then on out, he was always, he always had the Christmas spirit. Even when it wasn't Christmas, he was a giving man. He was a good man. And I think there was also mentioned that he kind of becomes a
second father
to Tiny Tim, to where he basically helps take care of him.
Real quick, Chris. Bye. Have a good day at work. Go ahead.
Don't soundbite any of this, Chris. Be watching Thursday night and having myself come back to me.
When don't you? I mean, between Garrett and Chris, we're all in the same boat.
So yeah, he becomes a second father because at this point in life, he's not going to father a child. Mm-hmm. He adopts the Cratchit family. Yeah. I'm assuming even when Ebenezer Scrooge does pass, because there's only a few things that are certain in life, and that's death and taxes, I guess.
The song I like.
Huh?
The song I like. I'll tell you after.
That's okay. Here, Fred's probably going to inherit his fortune, but I think Bob Cratchit inherits the business. Mm-hmm. He becomes the partner like Scrooge and Marley. I bet, just looking back into it and looking forward to the future, it's not Scrooge and Marley anymore. It's probably Scrooge and Cratchit, and hopefully. So it's a great ending. It's a great book. It's a great classic, and it puts you back in the era that it was written into, and that's what I like. That Victorian era, awesome time for obviously the upper middle class and upper class. It was a great time. But the stories that come out of this, it's awesome. I love the story.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go ahead, Russ.
Well, I was just going to ask. What other versions did we watch, or are we ready to move on for that? Because there are so many versions. I looked up, and there's more than 50 versions that I could find.
Yeah, and I didn't watch 50 movies. I
didn't either. I watched three. I watched three that I had not seen before.
Really?
So
I watched three that I had, but I have insight, so I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So Russ, why don't you start us off then? Tell us about.
The first one that I watched was an All Dogs Christmas Carol, based on the All Dogs Go to Heaven movies, which was an old MGM animation. So it was, like the old Disney Channel animations, same studio. It was nothing at all like the book. That's for one thing. But it was a fun.
Oh, they were four-legged animals.
Well, yeah, it was a fun adaptation. And it was, but it's got Ernest Borgnine, it's got Steven Weber, Dom DeLuise, Sheena Easton. I mean, there's tons of people in it.
Wow.
And it follows the story of Carface, who is a gangster dog who comes and takes and steals money from the other dogs.
Is that like Scarface?
Well, kind of, yeah, but yeah, they make him Carface instead, and they basically, in order to, and then he is allied with this devil like witch dog who is going to create this giant dog whistle that will control the minds of all the dogs in town.
How is this a Christmas Carol at all? There's no storyline that matches a Christmas Carol.
Very loosely adapted.
Very loosely adapted. It doesn't seem like it was adapted
this
at
is
all.
why I love it so much, because it is so far out there.
Real quick, welcome in Kelly from the Mickey
Kelly.
Bunch. Yeah.
And Kelly, you did Tina no favors by calling her Sweet Cheeks.
No, Tracy, you've missed so much. That's been my nickname all week since last week. Yeah, that's
so the main character, Charlie and Itchy, they have to save the town because of this evil dog whistle thing and this evil witch. And so Carface,
there's no Christmas present. There's no Christmas ghost.
There is. So they have the magic in his dog collar from the first movie, because he's got heavenly powers or whatever. And so he's able to use these powers to create a Christmas wish, and Itchy goes back and becomes the ghost of Christmas present or Christmas past. And then Annabelle goes and becomes Sasha goes and becomes the ghost of Christmas present, and Charlie becomes the ghost of Christmas future. And they show Carface his life and how it affects everyone, and he becomes a good guy again and is able to go and stop the witch. That's the story. It is way out there, I know.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, these are versions that some people, they take great liberty.
Pretty much All Dogs Christmas Carol just pretty much took the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future and changed the rest of the storyline altogether.
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
So, but that's what I'm saying. There are adaptions that are not all that great and not at all close to the book. Now, the other two versions that I watched are, and we can go on to somebody else because I don't want to keep talking, but I did watch two other versions that were better. So.
All right. What in the world just happened?
I'm waiting on you.
Oh, you're looking at me. I'm like, what is he look? What are you looking at?
I'm
Which
looking
way am
at
I going? What are you looking at? Okay. Why don't you go next? I can't.
No, go ahead.
All right. So I watched 3 that I've already seen before, only because my brain forgets things. And even if I watch something new, I'd forget it 10 seconds later. So I went and I watched the George C. Scott version from the 1980s. I think it was 84, which was my favorite, until I read the book. And now it is not my favorite.
Really?
It is, yeah. It is not as true to the book as I thought it was, of course, because I didn't read the book, so I had no idea. But like at the beginning, he's gonna go to the exchange after work. He doesn't go to the tavern and go home. He goes to like the exchange and then has the interaction with the people that want to hit him up for money for charity. And little things like that throughout the movie that it just kind of they stuck true to the book, but slightly, more than slightly altered. And so, that's why it's still one, it's still a great movie. But what?
It's still a good show.
Yeah. But not as close to the story as I guess I would have thought. So yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. So while we wait for Tracy, You know what? Let me go. All right, let me go into this. Will segue into the one out of the three that I watched, the one that I thought was the most like the book. And so the other two that I watched, one was Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, the other Disney version with Jim Carrey that I absolutely loved.
which
And
gets some mixed reviews to whereas some really love it, some really don't. So it just depends on your taste. Like I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but it is pretty close to to the book as well. So
yeah, I mean, even down to like, I mean, it has some little differences, but for the most part, the theme and like the consistency is the best in my opinion. And that's only of the ones that I've seen. I mean, I'm sure I've seen others, but I just off the top of my those ones. And then of course, I watched Muppet Christmas Carol, which I loved because it was narrated by Gonzo, and he narrates from the book,
right.
So you can't go wrong with that. But of course, they're going to switch things up and make it more Muppety and whatnot.
Well, and too, because of pacing and things like that, they cut things out.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite version. I mean, but mainly just because it's the Muppets. But it is very much adapted from the book. But it is very close.
I agree. And then I guess I watched 4. Last but not least, the Mickey Christmas Carol, which was nothing like the book at all. Well, hardly. Yeah, I mean, and they even cut out the scene of when he was in school. They cut out a lot of the scenes because it's a half-hour show. Of course, they have to. But yeah. Hey, Walt, Mouse Talk, welcome in. Michael and Bella's Travel Channel, welcome in.
Hey,
and who else? If I missed anyone else, just type hey again, and I'll call you out. So, all right, Russ, why don't you go through the others of your?
The other one that I watched was An American Christmas Carol. This was from 1979, and it stars Henry Winkler or the Fonz.
Hey.
He actually does a very good job. Like they have him in old man makeup and most of the movie, and he is like his normal self from that time period when he's younger in the past throughout the scenes, which is also another, a lot of the other versions, they get a different actor to play his young self, as in this, it's he's the same person. But this is an adaptation to where they make it Americanized, and excuse me again, I'm burping my Coke. To where they make it's during the Depression era in New Hampshire, and Henry Winkler plays a character that it's not Scrooge. His name's not Scrooge. It's something else that I forget now. Slade, I think, is his name. And he plays, basically he owns the town, but it's during the Depression, so everyone's lost their jobs, and so he's going around basically collecting all the debt, and everybody hates him. But then the ghosts are actually portrayed by people that he has affected in the town. So the Ghost of Christmas Past is actually the book shop owner, who comes back, and they take the form. The ghost takes the form of this person that he knows, and then the Ghost of Christmas Present is the guy that runs the orphanage, and then the Ghost of Christmas Future is one of a farmer that he goes and repossesses a bunch of stuff from. And so it's very different as far as the story goes, but it's very close to the book. I think it's really cool. It's a good adaptation, that's nothing like the original, but it's a good adaptation, and they do follow a lot of the same scenes, just rewritten. So it's really good.
So Walt says Scrooge 1970, my all-time favorite musical, and it's fantastic. Albert Finney as Scrooge, Sir Alec Guinness as Jacob. So I think this is the version that Dougie Waltergrams was mentioning. That was his favorite as well. And Russ just told me that I can find it on Amazon.
Well, no, that's a different one that I was going to talk about last. Now that's my new favorite as far as the closest adaptation. But,
okay.
But yeah, that's another good one too, though. Well, I think Elena has just mentioned the one that I was going to talk about was the 1951 version.
Hey, Rachel, welcome in.
So,
I didn't watch any of them. I remember them all, but I'm so busy. But I found time to read the book, which, you know. But I liked the what's the most recent version? I like the Patrick Stewart's version. It's close. It's close.
That was one of my favorites too, and it's more close to the play, I think.
Right, and maybe I'm partial to the place. I mean, I've been seeing to the play. Like I said, we mentioned a couple weeks ago that we went and seen it at not Proctor's. Maybe it was Proctor's Theater in Albany, where it was the guy who was the father on the Addams Family. He played it a couple times, and then we seen Wilford Brimley played a couple times. So that just particular, and I like the screen at the stage adaptation to it. And that's again the first time I seen the two children that the Close to Christmas Present bring. I like the Patrick Stewart. He's giddy at the end. He's putting on his jacket. I think he actually ties his coat rack to himself.
Yeah.
No, that's Scrooge from
that's Scrooge.
Donald Duck, Scrooge McDuck. But I mean, he goes out there and he's in his pajamas. I do like the musical one too. The musical one is great. I mean, the songs, and you can't beat the Muppet Christmas Carol. Even though at the end, he goes to Cratchit's house and he brings the turkey, and Cratchit's house, which is nice and small, now encompasses half the village, the city of London, because
they're Muppets. They're squishy. They can get it.
They're Muppets and they're squishy. They can all get in the door. But yeah, but then some of the versions that I like, it's like Scrooged. I liked Scrooged with Bill Murray. Does it follow the same storyline? Pretty much the same. You're not getting the book version, but you got a TV.
It's a good adaptation.
It's a great adaptation for the 80s and what's going on there. You got Bobcat Goldthwait, you got Bill Murray. Some of I can't remember who was the one from Ghost of Christmas Present. She comes in and slugs him right in the mouth.
I guess I have to see this.
Oh yeah,
you definitely do. I haven't watched it in I don't know how long. It's been a long time, but it is good. It's funny.
When the Ghost of Christmas Past comes in, she flies in and slugs him right in the mouth. And every time they change a scene, she pretty much puts a beating on him. But it's the funny thing, Yeah. And what's good about that is when you're looking at the Scrooged version, they're also doing a live TV studio version of the Christmas Carol, and you see by the beginning where he totally is trying to so commercialize it. He wants the Solid Gold dancers. He's got Mary Lou Retton. He's got all kinds of stuff, and then it changed at the end. I like it,
Nice.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Speaking of a Christmas Carol.
A carol.
Carol.
But yeah, some of the classic ones and the older ones, I like them too. I mean, I like them in black and white better. I don't like the colorized versions.
Yeah. Well, that's where the 1951 one, I love it. I mean, like I said, I just watched it this morning, and I was telling Tina before we got started was that, it follows almost all of the scenes throughout the entire book. But then it also even adds scenes that that complement that. Like they don't they did it. And I don't know. And again, I don't think that I've ever seen the play in its original writing, but it seems like they wrote things into to complement the actual book, and so it's not like, okay, well that this doesn't fit, or that's they changed that for the movie. The 1951 version, and it's just called Scrooge, And right now it's free to watch with Prime, if you wanted to watch it. But I did tell Tina as well, you have to search A Christmas Carol. You can't find it through just Scrooge for whatever reason. You have to search A Christmas Carol and then it should pop up. But yeah, I love it. I mean, it's black and white. It's Alistair Sim and then several other actors. You know, it's all British cast. Very, very, very good. And Alistair Sim just does an amazing job as Scrooge. The end scene is the best. The ending, this chapter is the best that I've ever seen. And just his attitude and just the way that he portrays that, it's just amazing. So you definitely need to watch that one. I love it. So very good.
Sweet. I'll check it out. 2 of them now. I thought that was the same one as the other one that Walt from Lost Talk was saying. And Full-Time Dream, welcome in. I have to say it vocal. I can't just show it on the screen because that's not enough for me. I have to actually verbalize it. So
Dream.
So anyways, all right. So it is 3:45. What more can we possibly drag out of this book?
It's tough because this book is a short book. Now the question is we get into the point is what's our next book? And do we start up at the beginning of the year? Do we let everybody come back? Like we need Tim, we need Brenda. Someone's got to balance us out. Me and Russ will just totally make you laugh the whole time, and we'll never get anything done.
Sure.
I think what we'll do is my advice, and this is just my advice, don't take it for gospel, is in the book club chat, see when everybody, if is Tuesday at 3:00 still viable for everybody? Is there a better time? And then get a consensus. What book do we want to do? And then you can do it because it's basically held on your channel. Just make a short of saying Tuesday book club or whatever book club. This is the book we're going to read, and we're reading this chapter and this chapter.
I don't know why is Russ laughing.
Because board rings.
That'll take like 5 years to get through. Even though they're great books, it will take 5 years to get through.
Well, I will say something. Honestly, I think at some point I would like to tackle that only because I can't get myself to get through the books, but I think if I had accountability,
so you need motivation to get through it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future.
We'd probably only be able to do like one chapter a time, like a show.
Because they're long, right?
If you can even get a chapter done,
I was gonna say it would even get through that, but because they are. The books are forever long. I mean, and then too, you have all the appendices and all the other stuff, Yeah.
So that's pretty much like a year book club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it.
Well, and then if we're gonna do all of the series, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Garrett's saying Board of the Rings is a National Lampoon version.
Oh my gosh! Wait, is it really?
No.
Oh.
But like I said, I think as a book club, because the three of us deciding it shouldn't be the right thing to do.
Well, I was just gonna say we could maybe come up with our suggestions for books, and then we can kind of all decide which ones we wanted to do or whatever. But I know Tina, you had some ideas, and
I picked this one. I'm out this route. You guys, it's all up to you guys because I.
Oh, so we're reading Babes in Toyland? Are you going to ship that one?
That's out of print. Thank you very much.
At
least the version that I'm thinking of. Don't go looking for it for sure. I'll warn you there.
I just found out that Shirley Temple did a version of Babes in Toyland, and I think it was Shirley Temple. Never mind. Forget I said anything. I thought it was Shirley Temple. So
I'm thinking of the version that is based on the movie that Walt Disney made.
Yes, the G-rated version. Obviously, G-rated content,
which is currently out of print. So that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, we have Mama. She should be coming back soon. Is Tuesday at 2:00 still viable for her? Is there another day that's that? I mean, I've been on for I think the last 3 books. If you choose to go to a different time that works better for everybody else, I won't be offended. I won't be here to make you laugh as much, but I'm not going to be offended.
It's okay, Tracy.
So let's see. What time is Tracy at work? So...
First till 2?
No, I mean, hopefully by the next time we are going, I'll have a job, and maybe I won't be available either. So it just depends.
Right.
But,
Once Brenda stops breaking Tim's legs, example, Misery.
Maybe we should read that.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I see. All right, so we're getting a suggestion in the chat. If you guys have suggestions, you can. We'll just for consistency's sake, Instagram me. My info is usually in the description, and I don't think I put it in this time. So go me.
Go Tina.
Yeah, leave a comment once the video's over. Just leave a comment under the video and post your suggestion if you want to suggest something. And we'll discuss it.
And then too, I mean, I think we've also. I was just going to say, I think we have kind of an open, invitation. If you wanted to come and join us, by all means,
Yeah, you don't need to have a channel. If you just want to come on and join us, by all means, come and join us.
Besides, I can make anybody laugh, I think.
Pretty much.
Well, I know I can make you laugh pretty easy, but I like the last book I picked. Tina picked this book, but we kind of set a limit on a Christmas book. We didn't say we were doing any book, but once we get into the new year,
we'll have time to spread it out and to figure out what we can do. So
yeah. So
but
definitely,
that's what in 3 weeks is the new year. So
yeah.
Do we want to try and set the 5th to be our next date or no?
And
my birthday, almost my birthday.
Yep.
Well, like I said, I mean, if Tina wants to do a short, if the consensus, Dougie has probably a better timetable for him. If we want to get, I know Dougie was originally part of this. Maybe he has a better time that works out for him. And if it's an hour later, hour earlier, 2 hours, I don't want to exclude the people that originally wanted to start this. Like I said, I came in late to the game. I don't have a problem stepping out for a book because, hey, there's just so much knowledge up here, Next thing you know, I'm going to start. I keep reading books. I'm going to start forgetting my wife's name. What was her name again?
She's going to come in with the broom for sure at that point.
She's working.
Now, unless we pick a Star Wars book, then we have to have him in.
See, I had no idea there were Star Wars books out there.
Oh yeah, there's
and they're good too.
And did they come before the movies or after the movies?
Well, some of the Star Wars books.
Get him started, Tina. Don't get him started.
You got me started, Tina. Some of the books that before the you had episode 3, 4, and 5, 4, 5, and 6, and after A New Hope, there's actually a book called Splinter in the Mind's Eye, which was supposed to be the sequel until George Lucas decided to have Empire Strikes Back, which kind of really puts in question in Splinter in the Mind's Eye because Luke and Leia have a relationship somewhat in Splinters in the Mind's Eye. But this guy had written it and he didn't know what Lucas had in plan. But all of that was considered canon all the way up until Disney buys it. Disney buys the rights to Star Wars. Everything that was written before Disney is considered legacy. And anything that's written afterwards is now called the canon.
Okay, good to know. I had no
idea.
idea.
Now you had me on a tangent. I stayed there for a very short time.
You did very good. I'm proud of you. Oh gosh, craziness right here. Danny, welcome in. I don't know if I welcomed you in Griswold Family VK. All right, so we will discuss. So definitely no book club. I'm being invaded again. Definitely no book club next week. Yes.
Where do we live?
We live right here. Where that bird is.
We live in Kokomo.
Yes, very good. And announce that to the entire world. Okay. Yes.
Love
you
it.
Understood that? Congratulations. You know where I live.
I live in a van down by the river.
Yes, you do. All right. Sorry.
That's okay.
My level of distraction. Not just you. My son.
like I said, my advice is get a consensus of the book club.
Yeah, we'll do that.
If people message you and say this is a book, and then you could share it with the book club. If somebody wants to come on, please Instagram Tina, and believe me. And if you come out with a better time, a time that works for everybody, and a book that you want to choose, do a short. Those things are super cool right now. Just do a short. Put a notification on. Hey, this is Tina. This is when we're doing our next book club. This is the book we're doing, and we're reading this chapter and this chapter.
All right. I'm putting my Instagram link in the chat. Send me a DM if you want to join book club. Anybody, you don't have to have a channel. Come join us. All right. Now that I've done that PSA.
You have to have some kind of channel.
Mike wants to do one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Listen, I do that all day with my kids. I would gladly pass on that one. Post it on someone else's channel if you want one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Thank you very much. Yeah, but we'll figure some out. I'll do a short. We'll get things figured out. If you have a book suggestion or you want to come join us, message me on Instagram.
Did you hit enter on your message? Because I don't see your link.
I did.
It's not there.
It is.
I don't see it.
It's not on. It didn't pop up in StreamYard. It's there on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I see it.
I don't.
Yeah, no. Do it again because.
Did you block me, Tina?
Yeah, I unmodded you and blocked you, Russ. Both you and Tracy, because you're that.
There it is. There it is.
I did it again. All right. I don't know what happened. All right.
Now I'm going to send you a message.
Okay. 4:00. Carlos Disney World Freak is up. Before we send you over there, Russ, what do you have coming up?
I think next thing that I'm doing is tomorrow hanging out with you. We're going to be making Christmas ornament type thingies. And which reminds me that I need to get all that stuff together. So I've got lots to do. Tomorrow, tomorrow at noon, as long as I can get this thing edited today, I will have a video being premiered of the time that I went with It's Joey's World to Universal Studios. So it should be a fun video. So yeah, come check it out.
Sorry, Garrett just posted a complete visual. All right, Tracy, what about you? What do you have coming up?
This Thursday is supposed to be Not Wasting Time. If I'm not going live, I'll let people know because there's a good chance that my talents at work might be desired, and they tell me I can't go home for 8 hours, which means I might be mandated very soon. So if not, I'll be, better stuck. But listen, it's either going to happen tomorrow, or Thursday. And as long as I'm home for pizza night, that'll be fine. If I don't go live this Thursday, I still plan on going live on Christmas Eve. And my plan for Christmas Eve, which I haven't told any of my fellow streamers here, is I actually want to do some live Christmas caroling. We'll print some Christmas carols and we'll sing, whether we're sing for 15, 20 minutes or 5 minutes, and everybody tells me I lose subscribers because we're singing. But just to do some Christmas caroling on Christmas Eve, just something short and fun. All a cappella too, no background music. So we're gonna go.
Nice. Oh look, I just lost 2 subscribers. No, just
That happened after book club anyway.
That's true. It seems like after every book club, I lose at least 1 subscriber. But I gain like 4 back. So
that's good.
Take the good with the bad.
And I just wanted to say congratulations, Tina, on winning your Luxo Junior Award.
Thank you.
Well deserved. And we're very proud of you and happy for you. So
it was an honor. It really was an honor, honestly. You guys have no idea. If you haven't checked it out, I just posted a video with it, kind of like my thank you speech. I was just pretending I was up at the Oscars, and I was just.
Did you play your own music to get you off?
Oh, I should have done that. Dang it.
I got no time.
Come on, I just have a couple more sentences. Yeah. Tomorrow, Wednesday, whatever it is, 5 p.m. going to be making ornaments. I was going to ask Tracy if he's not mandated to, if he wanted to come.
I'm not 100% sure if
So, yeah,
I'll be here tomorrow night or not.
Russ will be with me. We'll see who else might want to join. And I don't know what I'm doing, so it's going to be complete chaos.
I can give you a suggestion once we're done. If we're
Okay. I mean, I have some ideas, but yeah. And that's it. So no book club next week. We will let you guys know when book club will be back.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I am pretty sure I'm headed back to Boston next week. So next week, if I am back in Boston with my family, it's going to be something special, and it's going to be a surprise. So I might do a little short just to prep you guys to know what's going to happen, and we'll see. So anyways, someone wants to put the link to Carlos's channel in the chat. That would be great. Go head over to Disney World Freak and enjoy his stream, and have a great day. And Tracy,
Those of you who are traveling this coming week, just travel safe, be safe, watch the roads.
Know that you are loved and appreciated, and you are a blessing. And I am grateful for you. So thank you for being here, each and every one of you. Until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.